Hey there, girlfriend. Do you have sparse brows? Me too. So, have you ever asked yourself, how do you do sparse brows? We're going to get to the bottom of that in today's video. We'll see you inside. Hi there, my name is Ingafay and I am a beauty enthusiast. And in today's video, first we will talk about why eyebrows are sparse. We'll give you the causes and hopefully help you understand better how you got here. Secondly, we'll talk about what is the best eyebrow makeup to fill your eyebrows in. I'll give you my recommendation. And last but definitely not least, girlfriend, I am going to show you exactly how to fill your brows in with my favorite products. Let's do this, shall we? So, why are your brows sparse? Well, basically, from what I understand in my personal experience, I think it's several different reasons. One, it could be your aging. And as you know, your skin thins when you age, and then you also lose your hair thickness. Your hair is not as thick, so you're losing hair. And as a result of that, you have to fill in your brows a little bit more than what you had to do when you were younger, but it still can be done. So, age has a lot to do with it. The second reason that I have found that brows are sparse are because you probably have done one of three of these things. You have probably overplucked your brows, you have probably overwaxed your brows, and you have probably over tweezed your brows. How do I know that? Because I was in college in the 90s, probably similar to some of you. And back then, girl, the in brow at that time was a thin brow. Now, thick brows are all the rage. So, my thick brows that I had naturally, I was trying to make them thin. And I probably didn't necessarily go to the most professional type of people because, money was an issue. So, I went down to my local salon that I thought I was going to in college because I kind of went to college in the country. But anyway, in addition to that, I went to folks that I don't think knew exactly what they were doing. They were not as seasoned as others, is what I will say. And I think I got my brows over plucked or over waxed because I was waxing at that time. So I really think that that was a part of my brows being sparse now. And granted, they don't look that way because I filled them in really good for you today. But I am actually going to go naked so you can actually see what they look at like. So I can show you how I got from the sparse brow to the brow that I have now. The third reason that I think people have sparse brows is nutrition. You are what you eat. And if you're not eating well, that has a lot to do with your natural hair growth. So, eating has a lot to do with it as well. Fourth, I would also say for hormonal type of issues, if you have any hormone issues, that can also lead to hair loss that would cause your brows to be sparse. And last but definitely not least would be any type of autoimmune disease that actually has a loss of hair as well. So, any of these five could be the reason why your brows are sparse, or it could be a combination of any of these five. So, girlfriend, what I want to tell you now is the past is the past. There's nothing you can do about that now. The only really thing that you can do is make sure that you're eating right from this point on. If you have kind of hormonal issues, you'll probably need to go to a doctor. If autoimmune disease is probably something that you could go to the doctor for too. But at the end of the day, girl, you got to rock with what you got at this point and rock your God given attributes. And we're going to show you exactly how to do that. But before we get into that, I wanted to remind you to subscribe to the YouTube channel. We upload a video every Tuesday for your viewing pleasure, and we don't want you to miss a beat. So be sure to subscribe so you can see our videos as they come in. So now we're going to talk about what is the best eyebrow makeup. Now, like anything else, everybody has an opinion, just like a nose. But what I wanted to share with you today are two products that I absolutely love to use to fill in my brows. Now, one thing that I wanted to say before I even recommend these products, for those of you that are thinking, oh, well, hope she says something about eyeshadow. No, girlfriend. Eyeshadow is not something that you want to use on sparse brows. Eyeshadow is normally used for folks that have full brows and they're just kind of filling them in. We don't have that, so don't use eyeshadow. So that's one thing I want to share with you right off the bat. Do not use eyeshadow. Now, one product that I swear by, really two products that I swear by, is first and foremost is a liner, a precision type of liner. And the one that I use, of course, is our precision brow liner from Mary Kay. I use a dark brunette. Now, I know initially people were recommending to me a black brown, but I really feel like the dark brunette really makes my eyebrows look natural, and it doesn't give that kind of false looking brow look. And I don't want to look false. I want it to look like it's naturally my brow. And when I use that dark brunette liner, it really fills it in nicely. The great thing that I love about the liner is that it has a nice tip to it. And for those of you that are using liner and you know, and you're familiar with putting liner on your eyebrows to fill them in, you know you got to have a pointy tip. Pointy tip is essential. I know even when I was using just a regular pencil, I had to always make sure that I sharpened the tip to make sure that it was a nice tip. And why is that so important? Because you're just going to use light strokes to look like or really mimic your hair, or what the hair would look like if it was there. So it's very important to use a very nice tip so you can naturally fill that in, so it doesn't look like it's drawn in. It can actually mimic hair. And that's one thing that I love about the precision brow liner that we have in Mary Kay, because it does allow us to do that. So number one would be the liner. Secondly, I would highly recommend for you to use a brow tint. Now, why do you need both? The brow liner is to be used to fill in, but the brow tint gives your brow that texture. It gives you that real look to make it really look like hair. And once you fill your brow in with the liner, the brow tint is going to hold that shape into place and then give the illusion of hair. So you really want to use both of these products when you are, I guess, reconstructing your brow, when you have sparse brow, because it's going to really make it look natural. So if you're not using those products, by all means, make sure that you do that from this point on. So I have a question for you. What do you use to fill in your brows? Do you use two products? Do you use the liner as well as the tint, or do you just use one or the other? Comment below and let us know. We would love to know what you're currently using. And then hopefully, based on what we are telling you today, you'll know better so you can do better, so you can add the two products together and try it out for yourself. Like anything else, you know, different strokes for different folks. This is my recommendation. This is what I like, and it gives me the brow look that I like. So I like the way it looks on me. If you think it looks great on you, girl, you do it too. But you know my slogan, and my slogan is do you boo. So it's only a recommendation, but comment below and let us know what you're doing. So now we're going to talk about how to fill in your sparse brow. Now, I wanted to go naked with you guys so you can actually see what I look like without my makeup on. So as you can see, my brows are sparse. And one of the first things that I like to do before I even apply anything on my brows is to brush my brow hair up using an eyebrow brush. And I love this eyebrow brush because it's dual end. It allows you to have an end for eyebrows or even mascara if you're combing out your lashes, or you can actually use the other end that has it for eyeliner. So if you're doing a powder eyeliner, kind of to set your gel eyeliner or pencil eyeliner, you can do that with the other end. So the first thing I would recommend that you do is to brush your brows up. Then the next thing that I wanted to recommend that you do is to have a better understanding of the brow map. Now, did you know that there was a brow map? Well, where it is, girlfriend. And there are three distinctions that I want to share with you that is very important when you're filling your brow in. The first one is where the brow actually starts. So you're going to use this pencil from your nose, from the very top of where your brow starts, to show you exactly where you're going to start filling in. And you use just really light, feather light strokes to fill in your brow with that liner. And you want to make sure the liner is closer to your eye color so it can look more natural as possible. Now, like I had shared earlier in the video, I do use a dark brunette when I fill in my brows. However, I know before it was recommended to me to use a black brown, but I really didn't feel the black brown was look natural on me. It looked like it was too dark. So I really think it's very important to be able to figure out what your color is. And I know that's important, especially for people that are cancer patients that have gone through chemo and may not have brows. Brow liner is very important to them as well. So when you're able to fill your brows in with the appropriate brow color, it looks very natural when you put it on, since your eyebrows have gone because of the chemo. So be sure to make sure that you are using a brow color that enhances your God-given positives, girlfriend. So after you know where the brow starts, that's the first part of the map. Then you want to know where your brow has its highest height, and that's going to be where the arch is. So you'll bring the pencil from the tip of your nose to the highest point of your brow, and that's where you know you're going to arch your brow. Okay, that's the highest arch of your brow. So that gives you the brow height. And then you're going to put the pencil at the end of your nose and bring it over to the end of your eye, right outside of your eye, and that's going to give you your brow length. So you'll know where to start, how high to go, and then how far to bring it over. And that's very important because brows really frame your face. So it's important that you be cognizant of those 3 locations so you can make sure that your brow looks natural. And it really could mimic what it would look like if they weren't sparse, okay? So after you've done that, what I typically do is just use kind of upward strokes, as you can see in this video, and just fill in my brow. I kind of start at the top, just kind of filling it in, and then gradually go over to the end, making sure that I'm staying within the guidelines of that brow map that we just talked about, to have the appropriate brow length as well as brow height as I fill it in. I also like to do it from the bottom as well, just to make sure that it really looks full and natural. To come over, I don't bring it up too high on the top, but I really make sure that I kind of just fill it in at the bottom. And then after I fill it in at the bottom, I then apply the brow tint. And like I had mentioned to you before, the brow tint is what gives your brow the texture, the actual hair-like type of look, that when somebody looks at you, it doesn't look like it's drawn on, it looks like it's actually hair. So that is what you want to do when it comes to your eyebrows. And of course, you do it on one side and you want to make sure that you're doing it on the other. That map, let's just go through it again. You want to make sure you got that map. So you're going to do the brow start. You want to make sure you got the brow height. And then you want to make sure that you have the brow length. And then after you do that, you start right at the brow start, upward strokes, filling it in from the top. As you fill it in from the top, then you will gradually go under and fill it in on the bottom. You get you a nice shape, girlfriend, something that you really think will accentuate your God-given positives. And then you will finish it off with the brow tint that gives you that texture. Now, one other step that I wanted to share with you today that I like to do to really set my brows is to use concealer. And I use concealer to just make sure that I have that nice line around the top, to really make sure that it's a refined line so it looks really natural. So I put concealer on the top of my brow as well as my eyelids because they're a little dark, to really give me that nice refined look after I'm done. So after I put that concealer on my lids, around my eyes, even my under eyes, because I'm a little dark around my under eyes, and around my brow, I can then do my eye makeup and then finish off my look with my foundation. Now, I don't know if I have told you this before, but I always do my eyes first before I apply my foundation. And you may be thinking, why do you do that? Well, the reason I do that, girlfriend, is because if I have any kind of eyeshadow fallout, I can quickly fix it if I don't have foundation on. When you have foundation on, and if you have that fallout, you have to go in and really go in and kind of blend your foundation in from the place that you had to remove it to get the fallout away. It can be a long process, especially if you're trying to get somewhere quickly. So to remedy that, if I just do my eyes first and my foundation last, then I can quickly move. If I have some fallout, I can just kind of wipe it off my face really quick and keep it going, and not have to really take the time to blend the foundation and the concealer back and just make sure that it looks flawless like it once was before the fallout happened. So those are the steps that I do, and pretty much are the products that I have in my regimen to do sparse brows. The product list, I made it a point to make sure that that's down in the description. So if you want to know exactly the concealer that I use, the brow liner that I use, the brow tint that I use, which was brunette, you will see all of that in the description. So be sure to click the links down in the description so you can go directly to the website if you're interested in getting the items for yourself and your color that accentuates your God-given positives. And as always, thanks for watching and bye for now.